we're discussing AI-generated design from concept to reality. The idea here is that we can use AI in every step of the process. If it's conceptualizing the idea, refining our idea, brainstorming, or it's visualizing, communicating our ideas to other people very quickly, or it's fabricating using digital fabrication to create prototypes, or creating 3D models as well. All of these things will help us create better designs faster. And that's one of the main things I'm really interested in. So today we'll just be covering theory. I think this is covering, yeah, let's go like that. So today we're covering theory. So I think it's super important to cover this. For example, during my Fab Lab AI workshop series, I would have 2 workshops a week for 8 weeks. In those 8 weeks, every week was a different modality of AI, whether it was text-based or image or 3D. Or in that first workshop of the week, of the 2 I have every week, I would cover just theory. And the idea here is that we need to really understand the societal impacts of AI and this technology, as well as like, where do we want to stand with it? What are our boundaries? I mean, we don't need to accept things AI or virtual reality or any sort of technology. We get to pick and choose what tools we want to use, what tools we want in our toolbox, and then also understanding the ethical implications of them so that we can do it responsibly. AI is super, super powerful, and with great power comes great responsibility. I'm super optimistic the future in the age of AI, and that's because I truly engage with it on a civic level, on a community level, and on a technical level. I'm developing the AI as I use it, and we'll talk more about that. Then tomorrow we'll get into practice. This is where I'll just show you a ton of different tools that you can use around AI, 3D, VR, spatial computing, all of these different tools that you can use to conceptualize, communicate, and maybe even fabricate your ideas pretty quickly. And then day 3 integration, we'll create a project together. So you can see the entire workflow from start to finish of how you can put these things together and create something really cool. We'll create it together. It'll be collaborative. And also I'll take on more questions. Maybe you can tell me about your projects, what you're looking for help with. Like I said, when I teach AI, it's a bunch of different modalities. This is like 1 or 2 of them combined. So there are a lot more tools, a lot more insights that I could give and would be happy to. So we can explore that more on day 3. Okay, so today, user cases. We'll start off with user cases. And this is important, of course, so that you know how these things are being used today and how you can use them, and maybe you can spark some ideas for your own projects. And then, so that will cover AI and digital fabrication, virtual reality, augmented reality, and digital twins. We'll define and discuss all of these. And again, if you have any questions about any of that, I will answer them. So then we'll go into the mechanics. I won't go super deep. I mean, you could get a master's degree in at least 20 of these things. So I'll just go through them lightly so you understand the framework of how these things work, so that you can use them in more empowered ways. If you can kind of understand how this theoretically works, then you can position yourself, prompt, and so forth a lot more powerfully. And then, so that will be an AI overview. We'll talk about large language models, diffusion models, and image capturing, which is super useful if you're in the design world. Then we'll take a break. During that break, we'll have a 15-minute break. I'll actually have a quiz that you can take optionally during those 15 minutes. There'll be sliding slides, asking different questions. It's really simple and kind of fun. And then when we get back from the 15-minute break, I'll go over answers and we can kind of evaluate where you are and where you want to improve. And then finally, we'll get into ethics after a nice little break. And we'll discuss deep fakes, the geopolitics of AI, sustainability, transparency, and the future of work. During our ethics section, I would like more of an open dialogue where we can debate, share ideas, things like that. Like I said, I think it's super important that we engage with AI, that we're not just like on the sidelines as it's being developed and implemented. Okay, so what is it? Let's just start there because we can get lost in the terminology. So AI, artificial intelligence, it mimics human thinking and actions to solve complex tasks. I would like to, for me, it's easiest to understand if I think about its oldest concept. Greek philosophers used to dream of this idea of AI actually, and they called it thinking computers. And that's it. It's just like, can we take our intelligence of some kind and put it in, thinking machines, that's what they would call it. Thinking machines, it is a thinking computer, so in a way. So can we, kind of put our intelligence in this sort of machine and it can kind of think for us a little bit or help us make decisions. But in reality, it creates systems for data analysis, pattern recognition, decision-making, resembling human cognition. And we'll get into how it resembles human cognition. And then virtual reality, VR, it creates immersive environments for users, enhancing the visualization and experience in design projects. So this is really cool. I'll get more into the benefits later, but with VR, we can design and display our designs immersively. I think that's super helpful, super beneficial. It's like one step closer to physical prototyping and getting that feedback. And you can design a bit more empathetically at an eye level as opposed to from the traditional aerial view, this top-down view. And of course, when you put them together, they're very powerful. So why is it important to integrate AI and VR into your work? Well, I believe it definitely bridges our vision, the technical execution of something. So now I don't have so many barriers to communicate or create my idea. I think that's super important because it democratizes design. I believe radically that everyone is creative and everyone has something to express and contribute to society. With AI, we can actually make this happen without the privilege of traditional education. Like this technology of me being on screen and talking to you guys from Portugal, it makes it so that you can get a sort of education, certain maybe you wouldn't have been able to in your direct vicinity. So I think it's also really important because I think it leads to more innovation and exploring new design possibilities. With AI, you can create dozens of concepts and ideas and visuals for that you wouldn't have otherwise. Let me just add a couple more people. Oh, great. You can't hear the noise. Wow. AI is amazing. Okay. So you get to create more ideas and iterations, which is super powerful. I think more ideas, better, the more to choose from, the more to get feedback on. And of course, you can then start to personalize and adapt the design for your needs or other people's needs. This scales in a lot of really cool ways that we'll talk about. And rapid prototyping. So I can come up with an idea, use AI to create the visuals or the model, and then 3D print all within 5 minutes, maybe less. I've done it in a minute. I've had an idea, I created the 3D model, I sent it to the 3D printer, and I was done. I had my prototype, and now I could take that prototype, talk to my client, and have a much deeper conversation about what they're looking for. They could start to try it on. They could see its relationship to them, the shape, the feel. It's super powerful. You can gain deeper insights through immersive perspectives. So not just the physical prototyping, but also using virtual reality. Let's say I don't want to 3D print right now, or it's a larger scale like architecture. Well, I can immerse myself in virtual reality and experience the scale. And I can bring my client or my friends in and they can experience it with me. We can see how we feel about it together. We can talk about it. It's super powerful.